Good afternoon. 6th of October 2020. Now, this is Russian Federation to embark. Why Russian Federation? Because throughout history, Russian seafarers and the officers have demonstrated that of such a big country, just one little hero seafarer officer bring, say, approx $20,000. Just to mention a figure, I don't know if it is because they join only for 5 months, 4 months, whatever. It's just an approx figure. And so one direct job generates 10 indirect jobs. Therefore, the total impact for the economy is 220. As I mentioned, this is just an approx. It's just a figure to play around because what I want to explain is why these are heroes, because it is 10 times what they bring, which could vary. And the reasons why these seafarers and officers are heroes is because I have been working with them so long, above 30 years myself. And for example, another hero was my great grandfather, Captain Antonio Candina, and he started sailing 15 years old. So you can imagine the intrinsic value, how much you invest in your country, what is the return of investment, how much you add to your the wealth that you invest in. So you can imagine then Captain Antonio Candina, he started 14 years old. In 1899, he said, I want to be a maritime officer. So he generated 4 generations. Now, please multiply. And I mentioned these $20,000, could be 30, could be 40, but it's not the important figure. The important figure is that it is times 10 plus 1 is times 11. So this is the concept. It is times 11, and that's 1 year. So you can imagine now in 100 years the intrinsic value, because if you calculate in the Russian Federation, now, for example, the last 100 years, I'm sure that you have neighbors that have been sailing for generations, and so those families are heroes. They have brought so much money that you can now calculate with these basic rules times 11. The question is now, with this coronavirus, how can we say thanks to you and then get something in return? So we would appreciate that if they fill in the application video we have. So in Candina, we have the CV online, digital. You can invest in yourself. And we need seafarers and officers every day. And it is very difficult to find electricians and to find officers in the engine side, in the deck side, specialized. And so I'm going to try to express why the Russian Federation, it has been and will be such a good source for seafarers worldwide. And I hope that this until the seas are dry, because when you multiply these intrinsic value calculations, these numbers of how much Coca-Cola brand has 100 years, if I invest, then how much rate of return I get from dividends, from profits, and from the increase of the share value. So in resume, how much profit I get. In the case of one seafarer, is that person brings 20,000 average approx. Yes, and then the indirect jobs is 10, so it's 11. Therefore, is $220,000. I think never, ever, perhaps no one has declared heroes seafarers, but I do. And it is a pleasure to work for them and to express this to the Russian Federation, because now we have to take advantage of this digital disruption so we can invest in ourselves and yourself if you wish. Now, The reason why the Russian Federation seafarers are so good is one, because the logistics. I have not seen a country that has such good transport system. All the transport is always to the capital, and in the capital it is centralized. The medical examinations, the schools, maritime schools, the consulates, visas, all the papers required. So logistically, I think Russian Federation is a state of the art. Take my hat off. It is really a pleasure to work with Russian Federation seafarers and officers because whenever we have, let's say, a placement, a recruitment of a seafarer or an officer, we know that that person will get to destination with all the papers, all the medical examinations, the drug and alcohol test, the COVID test, all the training. If they need to have any special training, it is very easy to organize everything because it is in the same meeting point. I have never ever seen a country so well organized logistically. This is a state of the art, yes, and this is really a pleasure because in other countries there is never 100% compliance into delivering a seafarer or an officer with all the documents, and it's so complicated. Even it is getting even more complicated nowadays. We need to have a constraint of 48 hours between the COVID and the joining on board the ship and the visa, and it is getting even more and more and more complicated, and it looks like this is going to be the case. Two, all Russian Federation seafarers and officers are very digital, and this is a huge competitive advantage for you because you can invest in yourself. You can train yourself in English. You can watch these videos in English. I made so many videos about associations, coronavirus, crew situation, ship owners, seafarer, millennials, just to give back to society what we were so lucky to get from society. So this is also videos for you so you can really invest in yourself in English, in knowledge about these associations or seafarers or coronavirus or ship owners or whatever flags of convenience, insurances, protection indemnity club, classification societies if you want to be an auditor in the future, which there is plenty jobs nowadays because you are digital. So auditor, digital, done. And so there is many ways that you can invest in yourself like I do making these videos. So number two is the digital world of Russia. I will not really expand myself into many more areas because then perhaps everybody will fall asleep and that's not the point. Then we have the next is the training scheme. The training scheme rating to officer and all different specialized courses. We have, for example, the $400 basic training in 4 days. This is really a record, world record Guinness. It is the best country in the world. You can negotiate the course and do it in the shortest time because, for example, now if we have to expand this cruise business and hope that everything is safe and that we can move into the cruise and many other hero ship owners like ship owners of Russian Federation that thank you, you're heroes, yes, because and so then we need to have a huge amounts of seafarers available in a very short period of time, trained and with all the certificates to take over safely these units. And we are talking about, let's say, 200,000 seafarers, approx 300,000. I believe that there is many other countries that you can manage these volumes, but the Russian Federation always has been number one from my little point of view regarding training. you can negotiate, and all these courses are compliant. And it is really excellent to see how the training systems in the Russian Federation, for example, if you want electricians, if you want engine, if you want anything, uh, it is so highly regarded from myself. And so the cost of $400, for example, for this basic training, if you go to Spain, it will be 1,700 euros, and three different windows you have to knock to get so many papers and fill it up. So if you want to have these 200,000 seafarers ready tomorrow to join, no way you can get this date. And this is really incredible how Russian Federation has coped with this training. I hope they continue. I hope they improve this because we need this in the crew management business. And third of all, it is, I believe that it is so transparent, the system. It has to improve little bits here and there um, regarding verification of certificates, for example. And but it is really very minor issues that can be solved today. If someone is listening to this video, perhaps they can do this. And so I believe also it has the fourth competitive advantage of Russian Federation. Four is not few, it's four. Is that it is the biggest country in the world, obviously, surrounded by sea. Yes, north, south, east, and west. And therefore, it has the four cardinal points. I love this 4 to 4. Yes. So I really love this because it means that it's in the center of the world. You can go from, say, uh, north of Russian Federation to any port in the north of the globe. It is going to be very strategic now. Unfortunately, we are having this problem of environment. And then from the south of the Russian Federation, you can move also towards many other, say, seas. You can go to the Atlantic, you can go to the Mediterranean, you can go to the Indian, and you can go to the Pacific. So then also from the east and the west, you can move around. So it is strategically like if you catch a plane in 2 3 hours, you can be around the globe. And this is very important nowadays. We all have to wear masks and we have to be safe. So being close to the ships, I think, is very strategically a competitive advantage and very, very, very important. So if I was in charge of maritime training, I would set these cardinal points for maritime schools, and perhaps that would mean little change in the point number one of logistics of Russian Federation. But we have to adapt, and I would be closer to the seas, which enough it is being the world's biggest country. It's close enough, you are. But yeah, and this is a really great advantage. So altogether, I believe these four great advantages, which are the biggest, and we have also got a very big population. And these four advantages, I think, are the state of the art. And probably, I'm sorry if I have forgotten some more, but the main message for you, Russian Federation seafarer, is that if your family is watching this, you are a hero, and so you bring so much wealth for your neighbors and everybody, that the police, the immigration, the doctors, the maritime schools, whatever other schools, they have to help you. And I am trying to also ask airline companies to, so instead of 20 kilos, they allow you 40 kilos and this. Hopefully they will view these videos, and then I don't have to make any more. So I will put new borders into our great community. And so I thank you very much, Russian Federation Seafarer and Officer, for the history of sailing together in these difficult times. And we are getting into new opportunities in training. We need more electricians, we need more engine department, we need more digital personnel, we need more English now. And I am sure that soon that this crisis is finished, the coronavirus, that we will need huge amounts of persons that we cannot get from all the Europe, and that you have a huge advantage into training, into digital, into English, into logistics, as I explained, and it is huge. It is huge. I mean, I have never ever seen something so efficient in my life. And yes, we have to say thank you very much indeed. I hope that you express to the like and subscribe and all these YouTube things that are important for us to continue to work and train with transparency and safety and efficiency. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Bye, Russian Federation.